Hey everyone, my name is Wikz and welcome to my Palmetto Zoo series. Today we're gonna build a moose habitat and a moose shelter. I am really looking forward to show you guys this, so let's get right into it. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video of Palmetto Zoo. Yeah, today we are continuing in our northern wilderness area. More likely the moose. I had like a plan of like different animals I wanted in this area, and so far we got the river otter, we got the wolverine, and we got the moose, which is the one I'm building for today. I also have other plans. I might do the wolves or the grizzly bear. I do not know yet. We will see. Maybe you can help me decide in the description or in the comments down below. So here I kind of looked around on Pinterest. I kind of looked on Zoo Chat. I was really struggling on how to make a proper moose habitat because they're usually very big and wide, and I minimized myself or limited myself of building a habitat in this little deformed square here, as you see, which I eventually extend a little bit to give them more space, habitat space to run around and roam around in. But I did find a few shots and a few inspiration pictures that I took a lot of reference from. As you can see here in the back here, I'm posting a picture. This is kind of like what I'm trying to do here first. I'm trying to add this thing, as you see here on the picture, trying to build this into this little platform where people can go in. They can watch the moose from like indoor through the glass, or they can go up here and look down to the habitat as well. And most likely I just try to look and read about their habitats and like how do they live, how do they roam, and kind of like try to incorporate all these things into one big build. And it actually turned out incredibly nice, if I have to say so myself. I am very proud of this, and I hope you guys will be too, because I really love how this is shaping up, especially this entire northern wilderness area. Honestly, it's very, very nice. So as you can see here, I'm really trying to get started here by adding this little viewing gallery here. You go in and check out the mooses, and I'm going back to the video later on and do some more interior work inside here that I actually kind of think it's a pretty damn cool addition to the park or the zoo. But I'm using again a lot of different textures, trying to get all this mix and match together, and everything here just looks amazingly nice together, like the otter habitat, the wolverine habitat mixed with the moose habitat here now. And as I say, I gotta be straight up honest, I did not know a lot about how like the backstage thing works as well for the mooses and stuff, so I kind of like just went with my own take on it. It might be a little bit too small, but we are a Palmetto Zoo. We are trying to make a very minimalistic kind of small zoo that doesn't have too many things. Like I want 4 or 5 animals per section, and we only want 3 or 4 areas. And since we are so much forward in this specific area, I kind of gonna want to try just finish it off properly. So as I said, let me know what you want in the bottom there, or in the description, no, in the comments, if you want bears, wolves, or maybe even beavers or something. That would be a fun little addition as well. I'm also brainstorming on what kind of animals I kind of want here. I want the porcupine too, because they're just such a fun animal. Maybe I'll build that close to the reptile house, which is also getting a lot of stuff happening. I do that a lot on stream, and then maybe next time I will do like maybe start on the alligator habitat and see where that takes me. But for now, we are kind of like just over here in the northern wilderness, in the videos at least. So as you can see here, I'm trying to build a custom platform here with some wood planks and stuff. And what I do is that I just use the same texture, but then when I'm done with it, I kind of turn them around, color them a bit, as you can see here at the end, and that kind of makes the mingle. It makes it looking nice, and it doesn't hurt your eyes of this same texture over and out, as you can see here, and it really adds to it. It does. So as you can see here, the habitat is not very big right now, but as I told you, I am extending it a little bit. It will be off camera, obviously, but I'm kind of extending it a little bit towards the back so they get a little bit more roaming spaces to do so. And then afterwards here, we're just kind of like making things look clean and nice, and we don't want too much here because we want it to be very like at the same theme, at the same style we're going for this area, like very kind of like for wilderness, like a mix of some cabins and lodges and outposts and stuff like that, and it really does the job. Really does the job. Here I was kind of struggling a little bit on what to do because as I say, I want to mix things together properly with textures and all that stuff. So here I'm doing a little bit of a platform that will have guests to come out and look at them, and then doing a little bit of custom fencing here and trying to do some mesh, like some safety mesh fences too, so people in any case won't jump over, or the mooses will not be able to reach the guests or the people watching here. And I think it actually turns out very nicely, especially when I mix it together with the first kind of fence I did at the platform next to the viewing house. So yeah, I mean, it's going really great here, and the surroundings around this entire habitat too is gonna look very sharp. And we have like pine trees, we have all kind of like pines, and it's just super nice to have this mix of animal habitats coming together nicely. And it's just nice to build this, right? Because that's what really like keeps the mojo and the groove going, when everything just starting to look nicely together, and like A, B, and C, like it's just awesome. As you can see here, trying to like edit that a little bit around the habitat, as you can see, mixing it together with this. And then afterwards I put a little bit of plasters and stuff around here too. So and then I will put some mulch on that and mix that with some foliage as well. You'll see that very soon in the video. But right now I'm just kind of like trying to mix together things and like, what do I want to do? And now we're slowly starting to add a little bit of foliage. And you know, when as soon as you add those things in, your builds is always gonna pop up and just be way more atmospheric. And I love playing around with nature in this game specifically because it looks so damn good, right? So as you can see here, we're still doing a little bit of fencing here towards here, and we're doing everything custom because we might as well do, because that's the best way to do it, and that's the way you can get the most cleanest and precise builds. So it might take you 10-15 minutes more, but it is always worth it. Always worth it. And I gotta say, I really enjoy building this zoo in general. It's nice. It's a different perspective. It's a nice way of learning how animal habitats and like how they actually roam and how everything works in zoos. Because I gotta tell you, I really research a lot when I do this, whatever I can. Like, what do they need of stuff like foliage, and luckily the game provides a lot of these information for us too. But like, it's just nice to get around and feel all these things. I also made a few billboards that will be like a little bit around this habitat here too, and also a little northern wilderness where we have the representation of the animals so far in this area. And I'm also looking very much forward to make the whole entrance, the whole transitioning into this northern wilderness area. I'm actually a little bit blank on what I want to do with it. So if you guys have any suggestions of what you think would be a cool transition into this area, please let me know in the comments down below. So we are doing a little shelter for the mooses as well. They need shelters for rough weather and stuff. So what I'm doing here is that I'm doing a little shelter, as you can see, and then doing this little enclosure fencing here. If let's say some of them are aggressive or being aggressive and stuff, then it's good so we can divide them a little bit, because mooses are very majestic in that sense as well. So it's very common that we have a little enclosure for them in their habitat as well. The only thing here is that it's a very small enclosure, and as I said, I was really trying to get everything into this build, even though it's very like compact, and the moose is a huge animal, as we all know. So it was very difficult to figure out a way to do this properly. But at the end, the more I extended on the habitat too, the more I was kind of like, you know what, this actually looks super dope. So let's continue with that. And as you can see, I did a little gate, so they can kind of, you know, feel like that they're enclosed in and they can't really escape, because we can kind of like skip the gate to this, so we can close it in. But it's just the whole scenario of it. We won't really do it. It'll just be the whole vibe of it, making looking like that we can close this enclosure in and divide them if that's what we need to do. As you can see, we are just trying to up a lot of stuff and making it look very nice and plain, and that's what I really like about this game, is that when things are starting to come together. So as you can see here, here's the gateway, and I'm trying to do a little stopper, so whenever you open up the gate, it will go back there and won't be able to do more. Making some custom mechanic wheels here, so it actually looks like it actually runs on the surface here into this little cover kind of thing. But of course, this thing obviously were in the way of the habitat of the mooses, so I unfortunately had to delete it and just figuring out another way. So that's mainly why you see it eventually being gone, because the mooses all of a sudden couldn't jump over or couldn't be there. The hitboxes sometimes in this game, it really bothers me sometimes. You can build something super perfect, and then at the end the animals just won't be able to walk there because you put down a little bitsy piece that apparently is a huge hitbox. That is something I hope will be, I mean, for every future game we get in the Frontier franchise or Planet franchise, I really hope that the hitboxes will be something they'll look into, because they really do a huge impact sometimes when you do these smaller compact builds and you want to build more realistic. At least that's how I feel it. I know with mods you might be able to change that, but we're not building with mods at the second right now, and I honestly don't think I will before we're done with all our projects. So as you can see here, the shelter is kind of looking nice now, adding these little grass tops on top to make it feel more in with nature and more in with the whole environment and vibe we're doing here. So yeah, and also here I'm changing up the shelter here with a little bit of different planks and colors, and honestly I feel like this looks way better than just using this boring wooden panel kind of texture that we do here. So yeah, it's super dope. Here I am doing the exhibit, as you can see here, or the enclosure. Didn't do that before, I actually forgot about it. So yeah, and now we're adding in the mooses just to see how they will roam and how they will act. As you can see here, this is where I figured out that this is too much, so I had to delete this, unfortunately. See, it's really stupid. So but yeah, it is what it is. Now we're gonna do a lot of foliage work in here, and I think so far this might be my best foliage work yet in Palmetto Zoo, because it's really like, I'm really trying to upper my game with the foliage work and how their enclosures and habitats look, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job in this specific matter here. As you can see here, I already extended a little bit behind the shelter, made a little curvy kind of habitat, and it also makes it look way more nicer for people to walk around in here and etc. As you can see on this plaster concrete thing, I added some mulch, and I'm gonna add some foliage as well, and that also gives it such a nice vibe all the way around the habitat here, and it also makes the mooses be a little bit away too from the guests and from the platform we got. So yeah, this is just, I was just grooving a lot here, and I actually cannot wait to build the next habitat in this area. I just love this theme here, like just this wilderness, like lodges, cabins, like there's something about it, and you can make it look so immersive and nature wise, like so atmospheric, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. As you can see here, we're doing a little bit of foliage in the water too, adding that as well, because mooses, they use a lot of water. They're like kind of wetlands, kind of like, yeah, as you know, northern wilderness. So I thought it was good to mix that up together nicely, and it looks super dope when they do and walk around in the water here. Yeah, and as you saw here, I was trying to do something more realistic stuff so we don't get the trees destroyed by the mooses. So I added this little, as you saw, this from the Indonesian pack to the tree, and it actually works pretty well, honestly. I'm a big fan of that, and I will probably start doing that more often as well. As you can see here too, trying to make this little fencing to our trees too in the habitat, so the mooses will not do any harm to them, and they will also just be preserved as a nice tree in the habitat. So that was also a big plus for me. I really like that. Putting in some decals, a little bit of dirt on the ground, because why not? It adds so much to it as well. And as you can see, the habitat is slowly starting to look super dope. Very realistic, if you ask me. I don't know about the shelter in general, but I'm very satisfied with how the shelter turned out. Even though it's a little bit small, I still think that it's doable, and you would be able to see something like this in a zoo as well. And yeah, I think it's super dope. Adding some leaves here. Yeah, as you can see, this is a very detailed habitat. If you think about all the foliage I use, I don't think there is one spot separated here. So yeah, so it was mainly the first picture you kind of saw I showed that was my reference, and everything else was just kind of, I was trying to wing it and trying to see what works best here. So we have the inside of the shelter here, which I thought also needed a little bit of a touch. As you can see, I have the window coming from the street so they can look inside them sleeping, and I thought that was kind of a nice touch as well, adds a little bit to it. Here I wanted to do like a gate as well, like a door, but I struggled a little bit with it because I didn't want to, again, mess up the entrance for the mooses to go into their shelter. And of course, that's pretty much what happened. But it just looks so damn good that I didn't want to remove it. And I thought having this whole gateway here, or this door to the shelter, really just worked out super well. See, now right now it's perfect, nothing happens. And then as soon as I add this left side over here, I kind of close in their entrance for the shelter, even though I moved it way back too. So yeah, it's a little bit of a dumb thing, but let's not get discouraged by that and just continue building, because eventually they'll probably find their way in, even though if they have to jump or something, as we've seen before. So yeah, custom gate as you saw there with some wheels and stuff like that. And then we are in their shelter too, where I'm kind of like trying to add something for the keepers to walk over here, like they can walk up, like if they need to do something and they don't want to go down. So I felt like it was a nice little touch to have this fencing up here as well. Some foliage, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, and some clutter pieces here and there. I am moving over to this little section here too now, because this is what I told you about. Like inside here, I am adding a little bit of clutter to, a little bit of detail into, because I thought it looked too plain in here, and I felt like we needed to get something to make it a little bit more pop up. So that's kind of like what I did here. Put in some netting and just filled it up with some clutter, so it just feels like it's packed up there. Putting in some rope, and then for the first time ever, I actually think I got to use that corny cursed moose sign that I thought it was hilarious, and I thought it was just fun to have it in here. You see this one right here. It's a funny one, but hey, we gotta have some funny things sometimes too. It doesn't have to be all serious all the time. We are slowly moving towards the end game here of this video, friends. The speed might have been a little bit faster than previously because I had a lot of footage here and I had to cut out a lot of stuff too. But now we are slowly at the end, as I said, and I'm trying to like make like a little billboard thing here. As you can see that I'm gonna have a little bit around, putting in some posters, custom posters, and have that a little bit around to give it some more atmosphere as well. So yeah, and here I'm trying to mix and match the pathing together, so it's gonna look super clean. And here's another flower bed I did too, to make it feel a little bit more atmospheric and you know, compact. And you see a lot of this in different zoos too, where they have tons of these, and it just works, honestly, 100%. So here's the last bit I kind of do, where I'm again adding the two sides combining here, the asphalt with the wood. And then now we're just going back to do the last piece of the puzzle. This is a light pole. I thought that would be super cool to have around here. Like I was trying to do a kind of like a Fort Wilderness style one, and it actually turned out very, very good. I'm pretty happy for it. So, and I also thought about, if you guys want this on the blueprint, this little light pole here, let me know, and I will surely make it a blueprint for you all to use, because I actually like how this turned out. And you can see I'm using a lot of small pieces, a lot of iron pieces as well, and it just works very well for what I wanted it to look like. So so yeah, that's pretty much what we are doing in this video today, friends. And yeah, let me know what you think of this whole build in general in the comments. I would love to hear you, and let me decide what kind of animal or two should I build for in the northern wilderness. Should it be the wolf? Should it be the bear? Or should I do another beaver habitat here? I don't know why I say another, it's because I have one too in Palmetto Zoo. So yeah, I was struggling a little bit with the lighting here, so I add this thing here, and then I add something to the ground too, so it feels like it gives a little bit more shine, as you can see here, and it actually worked out very well. So here's a little bit of nighttime stuff, and then you will have some cinematics here, friends. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want some more of this, and you can also join the Discord. The links are down below. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.